Reflections was popping. Mirror, what up, boy? What's popping up? Oh, let me pin this real quick. Yo, 7 days out the week, 7 planets, let me see. Who gon' sell them 7 C's, be as clever as can be? Me. Who built that? Me. Who killed that? Me. The separation's an illusion, can't you see? Feel like I've been here before. Tina Marie, yeah, I've been rich and I've been poor. Hustled out the corner store. From the muscle, I'm that boy. From the jail system, school system, and the court of law. Let you be the king if you want. Better throw that ball, be like Mike. Yeah, Jordan, Tyson, Jackson, Billie Jean, Thriller off the wall. Try to tell these niggas you a god, they gon' be like, nah. Is your family gon' ride for you? Probably be like, nah. Is your shorty on your side for you? Probably be like, nah. She probably be like, nah. Probably. It's 7 days out the week, 7 planets, let me see. Who gon' sell them 7 C's, be as clever as can be? Me. Who built that? Me. Who killed that? Me. The separation's an illusion, can't you see? Feel like I've been here before. Tina Marie, yeah, I've been rich and I've been poor. Hustled out the corner store. From the muscle, I'm that boy. From the jail system, school system, and the court of law. Let you be the king if you want. Better throw that ball, be like Mike. Yeah, Jordan, Tyson, Jackson, Billie Jean, Thriller off the wall. Try to tell these niggas you a god, they gon' be like, nah. Is your family gon' ride for you? Probably be like, nah. Is your shorty on your side for you? Probably be like, nah. Yo, what up? What up? What up? Yo, I want to acknowledge all my reflections in the room. I want to acknowledge everybody in the room right now. You see the topic. You see where we going. You see where we going. Now we already know through the God order where information comes from. It comes from us. Let's just keep it real. Math, science, language, alphabet, letters in general came from us. So how we gonna credit somebody else for making a spiritual system when we the only ones who had spirituality in the beginning?
You afford another $6,400
how we gonna do that?
Year in out-of-pocket.
How we gonna do that? Now let me go back. Let me go back. I'm gonna start right here. Afrikan. Afrikan. That's Kiswahili. When we go to Kiswahili, how they spell Africa, see a lot of indigenous African languages didn't even use the letter C. Peace Reflection, what up? Let me see. Join in. And that'll be a shame. Yes, it's on feedback. There's too much feedback. Same difference. Yeah, so that's Kiswahili. Kiswahili. Most African dialects, indigenous African dialects, didn't even use the letter C. They didn't use the letter C. Now, I don't have a problem with Christianity specifically. I don't have a problem with it. The problem I have is our failure to identify the source. Just like here in America, in Babylon, they say we're African Americans. But we totally embrace the American side and leave out the African side? How can you say you're a conjunction of both, but leave one out? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just ignoring your whole left side of your body, nigga. You got two sides of this joint. You know what I'm saying? So, to get to the African origin of Christianity, right? First, we got to identify what cultural symptoms that we see of damage. This is a damage to our culture. This is very damaging to our culture. So first, we can't be cute with ourselves. All right? Let's not be cute with ourselves like we was conscious of this shit, cognizant of this shit the whole time. We were not. We were fucking sleeping. You was sleeping. I was sleeping. I was just eating chicken a couple months ago. Like, no, that was a couple years ago. But I was still fucking some chicken up. You know what I'm saying? So let's not get cute with ourselves like, you know, we've been up on things. We ain't been up on things, nigga. We've been sleeping. You know what I'm saying? So, to relate to the experiences, to relate with experiences like of a child, right? The children are returning from the ancestral realm. Let's say they're 6 months old. That means they're 6 months removed from the ancestral realm. Don't let the age that they give this physical body determine the amount of wisdom that you have. You see? And that's an African understanding. That's indigenous to Africa. That's not necessarily indigenous to Christianity, which was a creation from the ancient Africans. I'm going to go into that too. So, we've noticed there's six, I've noticed 6 different levels, right? 6 different levels and stages of mental freedom. Mental freedom. First, you start with going through an awakening, right? That awakening brings about an assimilation, an imitation. You are imitating that which you are, I don't want to say idolizing, but what you choose to embody. Like we look at the Nation of Islam. When we look at the Nation of Islam, they do everything the so-called Prophet Muhammad did. They don't even know why they're doing it. They just know they're emulating what Muhammad did. And that's the first stage of your real, you know, mental freedom. To free yourself from the colonizers' indoctrinations. After that, it's a disturbance. You're disturbed. You try to wake people up because you're disturbed. You're like, yo, the sky is fucking falling. You know what I'm saying, me? It's a disturbance. Then number 3 is the revolutionary identity. You become so woke. You become so focused. You become so super conscious, nigga. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? The 4th stage is self-knowledge. Self-knowledge. This is knowing yourself. After you know yourself, then you can manage yourself. And after you manage yourself, you have self-discipline. Right? And then after you have self-discipline from knowing yourself, then you can change somebody else. Some people take longer to go through these stages than other people. Not everybody wakes up at the same time. Not all flowers bloom at the same time. You understand me? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you some tools. Now, the last stage, after knowing yourself, is isolation. The isolation leads to leadership. The isolation is leadership. when you can function on your own. That's leadership. Okay? So let's run it down real quick. There are more than one origin that we can see that's noticeable. Peace Reflection, what up? Seven, what up, boy? Ether, what up? There's more than one origin. And I'm going to show you. First, we're going to go to 710 BCE. 710 BCE. This is before the Common Era. 710. We're going back thousands of years right now. Thousands of years. Let me show you. What up, though? What up? Man, I was in here chilling like shit. Yo, I was supposed to do this last night. I was going to do this last night, but I was putting my daughter to sleep. And if any of you got children out there, you know sometimes you put them to sleep and they put your ass to sleep. That's exactly what happened last night. I'm in such a divine state right now, man. Nothing can go wrong, man. I love myself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? All right, watch this. Peace to the goddess. What up? Can you fix that for me? No, I mean, so she's not screaming well. This is my baby. This is real life over here. Real life. You feel me? Hold on. Let's see if she wants to say hi to you. You alright? You alright? Are you alright? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Can I have a hug? Say peace, reflections. Say peace, reflections. Say peace. Are you okay? Are you alright? You want Muno? Okay, have a seat. I'll fix it for you, okay? It's crazy. Go ahead. Have a seat. Kids. Children. Anybody out there got children, you understand what I'm going through right now. You understand. You better give them what they want. If you don't give them what they want, they're going to give you what you don't want. Ain't that right? Say peace, reflections. Say peace. You're not going to say peace? You're not going to say, what? You're not going to do it? You are so special. You know that? Oh, my goodness. What you stick your tongue out for? Oh, my goodness. All right, I'll be right back, okay? You going to be a good girl? You promise? You promise? Okay. She said she's going to be a good girl. We'll see. We'll see. It's crazy. Okay. So, now, I'm going to take you back to the Shabaka stone. Oh, you understand? Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so I'm going to take us back to the Shabaka stone. Watch this. Shabaka stone was written in 710 BCE. 710 BCE, that's before Common Era. And matter of fact, what happened with Emperor Shabaka, right? Emperor Shabaka, he found was known as a Memphite text. The Memphite text, he found it as he was moving his family, his tribe, up the Nile. He found it. And after he found it, he commissioned to have it rebuilt in stone. This is where we get the term from, write it in stone. So he had it put in stone. And in stone, it said, this is an illustration of what it said. And what it is a pre-existing order of existence. This is before existence existed. The ancient Africans dared to fathom what existed before existence existed. And what they said was, in the beginning, everything existed in the waters of Nun. Everything, any and everything existed in the waters of Nun. From out of the waters of Nun came Ptah. What sat atop Ptah was Atum. And Atum birthed 4 concepts. These 4 concepts had balance, had Ma'at. Ma'at was always there. It was Nun, Nunet, Hat, and Hahet, Kut, and Kaket. And what you say at the end of your prayers. Especially, we talking about Christianity. What do you say at the end of your prayers? Amen. This is what, look, this is why you say amen at the end of your prayers. Because the last one to be called, the last concepts to be called was Amen and Amenet. Now, right away, you notice we got Amen and we got Adam. And Amen. Now, mind you, this is 710 BCE. But it was written from an older text called the Memphite text. So these African origins of Christianity go back over 20,000 years. Let me look at you. Over 20,000 years we talking about. So when they start with, 2,000 years ago, 2018 years ago, more specifically, there's some bullshit like, they keep lying. They will not tell you the truth. They gonna keep lying and lying and lying and lying. This is the problem I got with it. Not that it exists, not that the stories that they talk about. No, they lying about the origins. They lying about the etymology of these words and these terms and these stories. Why? Why? I'm going to show you why. Shit is deep. So, Atum was they call Adam. Atum, Adam. See, in the Bible, they will say Adam called all of God's creations and named them. Adam named all of God's creations. That's what they say in the Bible. Adam named all of God's creations. And here we have in the Shabbat stone where Atum called everything into existence. Atum called everything into existence. Furthermore, you go into modern science and they'll tell you atoms are in everything. So atoms, Atum, is in everything. Everything exists because of Atum or atoms or Adam. You see, this is the problem. We're separating science from spirituality. Really, spirituality is science that you cannot see. And science is the measure of spirituality, if you can dig that. I'm going to say that one more time. Science is the measure of spirituality, and spirituality is science that you cannot see. You follow me? All right. So, let's continue. Now, that was one. That's the Shabaka stone. That's 710 BCE. In fact, it was written from a much older document called the Memphite text. Look this shit up. Don't believe nothing I tell you. Look this shit up. Shit is real. All right. So, So now understand that certain things go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. Like when you go to church, you bring some money, right? Why you bring money when you go to church? So you give God the money, right? God needs your money. What sense does that make, Reflection? This form of Christianity that that's commonly expressed and practiced today, right, refers back to King James Version of the Bible. King James Version of the Bible didn't come out to around 1475 with the invention of the Gutenberg printing press. So we're talking about the 1400s. It's important to note that what was also created in the 1400s was money. Money was created in the 1400s by the Lydians. Lydia, which is modern day Turkey. This is a European country. Even the Council of Nicaea, Council of Ephesus, the Council of Chalcedon, all took place in modern day Turkey. This has been structured to take energy from you. It's been structured to take energy from you and to distract you from the origins, the African origins of Christianity. Peace, Reflection, what up, homie? So, notice that we already went over where science originated from, where language originated from, where the very alphabet originated from, and it wasn't the Gutenberg printing press. They didn't invent words in speaking. We invented words in speaking. So how did words, speaking, letters, alphabets transition into the 1400s being used in the Gutenberg printing press? Let me enlighten you. Peace, Reflection was popping. So it was an African. It was an African who introduced the Greek alphabet to Florence, Italy, and what they call the Renaissance. But really it's a naissance because you can't read something you never had. How do you have a renaissance without having a naissance? You know what I'm saying? So even as the Greek alphabet was introduced to the Greeks, to Florence, Italy, we have the first church ever created. The first church ever created in Rome, right, in Europe, is the Hagia Sophia. The Hagia Sophia is the first church, and that was built by some Africans, some ancient African Coptic Egyptians. So even the church is African in origin. And this is just to give you, because we got people leaving the church. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's a bad or good thing, but what I'm saying is we create things, we create, then it's usurped, and then we leave it. I'm just showing you the cycle. I'm showing you the cycles right now. Because it's a bunch of people now leaving the church. And it's the same thing that happened during this time in history. You know what I'm saying? Jules, what up? Are you coming in, Cannon? I'll bring you in. Let's do it. It's my brother Jules, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a thing about hate. This is not hate. I don't want to spread no hate message. Jules, what up? Reflection, peace. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
That's what's up, brother. How you doing, yo?
Great, great.
Yeah, I was digging in the crates real quick, man. We was going back. I'm talking about the African origins of Christianity, because we got a lot of people, you know, and they going through what I just went through, the 6 different stages of mental freedom. You know, first you become like, holy shit. Like you get like a wow, like, holy shit, like I've been going the wrong direction this whole time. And with that, it comes a point to where you wanna assimilate, imitate, and I associate that with like the Nation of Islam, how they do everything Muhammad did. A lot of them don't even understand why they doing what they doing. They just know that this is what Muhammad did. And that's not necessarily a bad thing either, because you got to start somewhere.
Because he is a prophet.
Exactly. You got to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Then after that stage, you begin to be a little disturbed. You're so disturbed, you start waking people up. People ain't even ready for the shit. You just hit them with it. Like, no, it's some bullshit. You just hit them with it. And, you know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing either. I'm just highlighting the different stages. Yeah. So after that, we see, I've noticed that it's a knowledge of self that we go through. We want to know ourselves. We want to know ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And after you know yourself, you get this revolutionary type of identity where you so super conscious, you so super woke and so focused. It's almost revolutionary, like you made a transition to revolve around revolutionary. Then after that, you have to have self-discipline. This is why stuff like changing your diet, changing your habits, changing the people you involve in your life and you transact with, if you know that they're toxic, you have the self-discipline to cut them off. Like, even if it's somebody that you love or somebody that you're in a relationship with, sometimes they're not the best person for you to be around. And this requires self-discipline. When you have that self-discipline, right, then you can exercise things like that. And when you have that self-discipline, then you can help other people. Because other people not trying to hear that shit. Like, if they don't see you walking what you talking and having the self-discipline and not do the stuff yourself, they not going to be quick to follow you or to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we got people that wake up and they want to jump stages and start preaching to people, and not necessarily preaching, but spreading information to people, but you still smoking weed, or you still drinking, or you still eating chicken, or you still involving yourself with the same nonsense that you know isn't right. And it's difficult for people to make the distinction between the people who we say is full of shit and the people we say is righteous. So once we exercise that level where we get to that self-discipline, then we can help others. Then after we get to that stage, we have this isolation stage where you know that you are enough. You know that you are enough. And you being enough, you don't need anybody. You don't need anybody. It is not necessarily you don't want to be around anybody. You just don't need anybody. You know you are enough. You know who you are cosmically. You know your cosmic identity. That makes you a leader. And when we get to this leader status, when we get to this leader stage of awareness, of mental freedom, this allows us to, number one, know ourselves. Number two, have self-discipline. Number three, help others. Number four, be a revolutionary and wake people up. You can't do all of the shit at the same time unless you get full understanding, full comprehension, and a full understanding and knowledge of self. So that's why I was going over the African origins of Christianity, so we can truly overstand and understand where this story, where these fabulous stories originate from, and what the purpose was, what the purpose of this shit is.
See, I like
just like I made a post last night about the Kundalini. You hear a lot of people talk about Kundalini and the Kundalini energy. right? The Kundalini is an energy. But everything starts mental, right? And if we're looking at it as mental, mental is feminine. You have a masculine part of your brain too, but when I mean feminine, what I mean by feminine is it's the wave. The particle is masculine. And now we're going into quantum physics.
That's my.
So
that's
the
what I
feminine
learned.
expression is the wave. The masculine is particle. The particle is solid. Right? So with the feminine being the energy and the particle being the biological applications, we're talking about the Pingala and the Ida. The Pingala and the Ida, these are two cords, two nerves that run from the top of your brain through your spine all the way down to your sacrum. Your sacrum, those two, that bottom bone that's like 4 or 5 bones fused together. A lot of the times they illustrate this when you see the devil and you see his tail is sort of like a triangle. That's the sacrum. That's exactly what it looks like. And that's why that's hell. You see? So everything that we look at that has some type of superstition is engrossed in science. Superstition is engrossed in science. I'm going to give you another one. They say when you break a mirror, you get 7 years bad luck. But the science behind that is what makes up a mirror. A mirror is silver. They literally melt down silver, spray it on a piece of glass, paint the other side of it black so it don't reflect all the whole light. Because you know the black don't reflect back light. The black absorbs light. That's the important thing about melanin. It absorbs all the light. So in the early invention of the mirror was more expensive than a normal piece of glass. So they developed a superstition to keep people conscious and not too lackadaisical with the mirror so they didn't break them. Not that you would really get 7 years bad luck, but it was expensive to put some fucking silver on this glass. So the superstition is backed by science. So with the story of Jesus, with the stories and the parables in the Bible, what is the science behind it? We're not going to get to the science until we get to the origins. You see what I'm saying? We're not going to get to the science until we get to the origins. So that's the whole purpose for breaking down the African origins of Christianity, because that's where it came from. It didn't come from Gutenberg. They didn't even have a goddamn alphabet at the time they made the Gutenberg. Well, no, they had an alphabet, but it wasn't commonly known throughout Europe. Most of Europe was illiterate at the time Gutenberg printing press came out with these Bibles. The language was first instilled by Manuel Praxillus in 1397. And this shit was hard to look. This shit was hard to find. I ain't even gonna hold you. This shit was hard to find, bro. Real shit. And it first got disseminated in Florence, Italy. Right? So even when we talk about Italy, Greek, notice that the first church that was built was the Hagia Sophia. Oh yeah, he gotta get his signal up.